Today on Jeep News, a brand new color available for the Gladiator to order, some exclusive employee pricing for the month of April, a lot of talking about what's going on behind the scenes at Jeep, as well as our plans on a brand new Jeep build. This is going to be a fun one, so stay tuned as we break it down on Dirt Road Cred Jeep News. Well, let's start right off. We are 1 week away from Easter Jeep Safari, which we do plan on covering here at Dirt Road Cred. We won't be there in person. Unfortunately, a lot of folks have been asking if we're going. It just butts too closely up to Daytona Jeep Beach for us to make it all the way out to Utah and then all the way over to the eastern coast of Florida within a few days time frame. But Easter Jeep Safari, Jeep likes to bring things to Easter Jeep Safari to kind of tease what they have coming down the pipeline. If you guys recall, I believe it was back in 2023, or even it was last year, they started outfitting the Jeeps with the new grills, and then those actually came out. So they do like to bring things that they're going to tease to the public and then kind of see what the reaction is, or maybe just hide it in plain sight and cruise around Moab, Utah and see how it performs. Now, what we're expecting this year is hopefully we see more vehicles than we're used to. I think Jeep is kind of like revitalizing right now. They're definitely searching for their identity after the past few years of just absolute nonsense from the leadership up top. But they are searching for that, and it's pretty obvious with their recent marketing ventures. Ryan brought it up off camera here. It kind of seems like the marketing is going more grassroots, and it is very, very effective. The Mojito drop. I mean, I know it's a few months after the color was released, but it was a simple, clean video just showing the color. We've been like begging Jeep just to do this for years, and maybe they're starting to finally listen to us. It's like we've talked on a lot of corporate calls with guys from Jeep, and it's like, just pull one of these things off the factory line, walk around it with an iPhone camera, make sure you don't get nothing proprietary in the back, and just show us the dang color. That's all the audience members want to see. So they're doing a great job. Ryan just brought up they did MLB opening day. They did some advertisements on there. They did them for 4x4 day. And then they did it for the colors that are being released. So really, kudos to Jeep marketing for just going back to easier, common sense marketing that just resonates well with the audience. So that's pretty cool to see. If you guys want to stay locked in, of course, anything that we see, as well as anything we hear, because we do have people out in Moab, we're going to post it up on the channel. So we will also be inferring on what's brought and what could potentially come down the pipeline. Now, as we slowly enter into Q2 here, we are seeing a Q1 report from Stellantis that is saying sales are up across the board. Now, not sure if that has anything to do with the fact that Jeeps, especially Wranglers and Gladiators, have been pretty heavily discounted the past few months, and they are trying to get them off the lots. This is not common in the Jeep world. Jeep Wranglers especially were never discounted, and the argument was always that they hold their value so well, we don't need to discount them from the factory. But they are discounting the heck out of these things, and a lot of folks have been reaching out to us, dropping comments down below like, hey Matt, we picked up a two-door, we picked up a Fathom Blue, we even picked up a brand new 41 because the deal was just so great. I keep reading all these beautiful stories on the forums where people were like, I wasn't even planning on getting a Jeep, but the discounts were that crazy, 20% off MSRP, this, that, and the other, that they decided to try out a Wrangler or try a Gladiator. And I think it's part one is because of the discounts that are on those vehicles if you find the right dealership. Now, today's video is brought to you by Dan Cummins, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, our dealership affiliate, which we're going to get into a little bit more at the end. But we've got a really cool program where you can reach out and get a good discount from them too. But I think it's because there is such a discount on the vehicle, but then secondly, Jeep is doing a dang good job at marketing. And then maybe thirdly is Dirt Road Cred is doing a really good job at marketing too, because we keep showing you guys all the colors that are available. We've recently checked out a Fathom Blue two-door Extreme Recon. We ourselves have a 41. We've kind of got all these rare colors, and we love to show them off on camera. But if the deals weren't good enough then, Jeep has just announced on Friday, in what I would say is a response to what Ford has just announced a few days prior, is that the vast majority of, I believe, 2024 model year Wranglers and Gladiators and some Rams are going to be employee pricing. So if you guys have ever seen basically a build sheet when you first order a vehicle, you're given a VIN, a VIN. It shows the MSRP, the FWP, which is basically invoice pricing, and then underneath it has like 3 categories, and there's EP pricing, which is employee pricing. That's, from what I'm understanding, is what these Jeeps are going to be for the end of April, I believe, Ryan. So through April 30th, you'll be able to take advantage of this. And it's kind of pretty close to what Ford's doing. If you're familiar with Ford, they've got A-plan pricing, which my wife's family all gets on their Fords because they have relatives that work for them. But that is basically the deepest discount that you can get as kind of someone that works for their corporate. So just dealership employees, they don't get that deep of a discount. It's someone that has to work for a plant or for corporate. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about is that I know some dealerships are already way below that. So I've seen Jeeps, even brand new 2025 Gladiator Sports for like 32 grand. I'm sure the EP pricing is around 35, 36, so they're already 3 or 4 grand below it. Will this be enough to help push, or is that going to be EP pricing plus incentives? That would get crazy, because EP pricing on some of these, you're talking 34, 35, and then you get like that Gladiator standalone 5 grand off, 7 grand off. You're talking like upper 20s for a brand new Jeep. So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll play around a little bit with it and see what we can come up with pricing wise. But I do believe, and I'm not going to get into this too much, I believe this is obviously in response to some of the tariffs that everyone's been talking about. We're not going to talk about it on here because there's so many other videos that explain all of it. I see it, Ryan see it as a former dealership employee, that this is almost like a little bit of, what would you call it, fear-mongering? Like it's supply and demand, and then it's also like, hey, look, if you don't buy it this month, there's no saying what prices could go up to next month. It was the same a few years ago when there was no inventory on the lots and it's like, hey, look, that truck behind me might be 10 grand over MSRP, but if I got 20 other people that want it. It was like, pull up like, there's that, the Wolf of Wall Street when they're sitting there like counting money and stuff. Like that's how it was for dealerships a few years ago. It hasn't been like that for a very long time. So not only is Jeep, Ford, all these other dealerships piling up inventory, I mean, piling it up. I can still find brand new 23s. They've got to find a way to get rid of it. And then also this might play into look like, let's get rid of it a little cheaper. And then also play off the fact that prices could go up. So perfect storm. We'll see what happens, but that is just kind of our opinion. It's a little bit too perfect of a storm to kind of throw it all together. But lastly, this color that we actually thought was available to order is now officially on the back end, and that color is Juice. So Juice is available to order on the Jeep Gladiator officially as of Friday, as of yesterday. They released it on the Stellantis North America media page, and they actually said the same quote I used, the juice is loose. So that's a reference to another story that I don't want to talk about on YouTube, but yeah, the juice is loose, and you can officially order the Juice Gladiator. What's extremely odd about this is that Ryan and I, when we filmed a video about a week ago talking in Jeep News. There was a Jeep down in Virginia. It was like Shaler Motor Cars, had a Juice Rubicon X, fully paint matched 2025 with a window sticker that said Juice exterior paint color. And as we were filming it, Ryan and I both were asking each other off camera, like, was this color ever available to order? You know, we were just both looking at each other like, well, I know it was on the Wrangler, right? Now, maybe it was on the Gladiator. Like, so we're asking around, and apparently it wasn't. So I'm only imagining that that was the only Juice, and probably is the only Juice Gladiator available in the country right now. And if I had to assume, it's probably like just a paint demo. They were like, let's spray it out. Let's try Juice on a Gladiator, see how it looks. What better trim to do it on than a Rubicon X where everything is paint matched? But a few days ago, this leads us into kind of what we wanted to talk about next, and our next build. A few days ago, we reached out to Megan down at Dan Cummins, and we were like, hey, can you order us a Juice Gladiator Sport? We want a base, and we want to build it up. And she's like, texting me back, like, dude, what are you talking about? Juice isn't available. And I was like, and then I said, what are you talking about? Here's one in Virginia. And then she said, what are you talking about? And sent me the back end screenshot and was like, it's not available anywhere. And then we got really confused. And apparently it wasn't available to order until Friday. So it's now available to order. And we've actually priced one out. So we have one priced out. We're going to click the order button today on a Saturday with Dan Cummins. And we should have it in anywhere from 4 weeks to 6 months. It could vary, but normally Dan Cummins is extremely quick. It just all depends on where it gets onto that build sequence. So let's talk about what we're doing, because that's something we've been talking about off camera for a while, but we're going to click order today and order another Jeep as if we don't have enough of them sitting around here. We're going to order a 2025 Jeep Gladiator Juice color in the Sport trim. So we're going to get into Sport. The only options on this Jeep, of course, it comes with a 3.6 V6 in there and an 8-speed automatic now. There is no manual option for the Jeep. And we're going to add the trailer tow group and the color. And that's it. It's going to have soft top. It's going to have a base interior, but now all comes with power windows and power locks. And I believe the cost on it comes to like 38 or 39. MSRP is like 42, so pretty healthy discount there. And I know it doesn't sound like a crazy discount, but that's just like the ordering discount. By the time it comes in, I'm sure there's all sorts of incentives just like there are now. So we're gonna get this in, and our plan with it, we're gonna give you some basics here, but we wanna hear your thoughts on it, is to build basically a beach edition Gladiator. We're gonna come up with a cool name, and maybe Jerry from Jeep already named it for us, but maybe it's Beach Rated is what we're gonna title this thing. And there's been years and years of builds that we've done. So we built Ryan's Jeep, we built my, I don't know, probably dozens at this point of Jeeps. I've had so many, I don't even know how many JLs I've had, probably 6 JLs. We've never really, now we're getting to the point where we're starting to build Jeeps with themes. So a case in point, the 41 build, that was built with a specific theme in mind before we even picked this up. Mine was kinda, yours was kinda. You had an idea of what you wanted, and then but it alters throughout. The 41 was like, this is what we want it to look like. The only changes were like little details on how to get it done. This Gladiator is going to be a beach edition. So we're talking something that you'd see commonly driving around in Florida, which we're about to go down to in 2 weeks. Something that's not the common Northeastern Jeep. So we're talking 35s or 37s, a set of 20-inch wheels, really good sound system, really nice lights throughout the vehicle, some really premium audio, and then maybe a custom suspension that, let's say at the touch of a button, can go up and down. So we want something that just screams beach vehicle, that you can throw your surfboards in the back, throw your cooler in the back, throw your seats, because we do have a lot of beaches here, even in Pennsylvania. They're not in Pennsylvania, but we're always down to the Jersey Shore, Delaware. We go all the time. And we see this type of Jeep whenever we're there. We see a Jeep that's mildly lifted, 37s, 20-inch wheels, ready to cruise on the beach, and that's what we want this to be. Bright color, so juice, that's orange, that's Florida, that's everything that we're thinking for this build. And we debated it with Mojito. We were almost gonna do a Mojito, and then that's already been out, so let's try a new color. And then not only that, is we've never done a Gladiator build on the channel. We've done all Wranglers, all JLs, 2 doors, 4 doors, but we've never done a Gladiator, and we know that they're wildly popular. I have owned one in the past, and now owning it in the past, I think there's gonna be a lot of cool ways we can incorporate parts that I bought one in 2020, 2021, somewhere in there. There was not many parts for the Gladiator back then. There were some, but now there's like, the sky's the limit. Everything's been designed, everything's been tested. So we're excited about this one. I think it's gonna be fun. Now that the 41 build, we've got some interior goodies to throw on that, and that's kind of wrapped up. It's time to start a fresh build. And maybe we'll put a pin on when we want it like kind of complete. I think Tennessee is gonna be pushing it, depending on how many parts we get in and when the Jeep gets delivered. But if we can get it done by Tennessee, we'll bring it down to Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. I think that would be a cool place to have it. But let us know in the comments, because I think this build we're gonna also try and do, we do a lot of our builds with a ton of comment feedback and audience feedback, but let us know what you would think for a beach edition Gladiator, for something that is meant to go on the beach, meant to go in the sand. If you guys live at beaches or you're down south, let us know what you commonly see on the Wranglers, or let us know what you use as a beach Jeep. Maybe it's a cool like umbrella mount for the back, or I don't know, there's all sorts of stuff. Drop it down below in the comments. Also, what you would like to see on that style of Gladiator build. We're already throwing around our head about another Gladiator, so this isn't gonna be the only one we have on the channel. We wanna hear about the beach stuff though, so let us know down below in the comments, because we're super curious if you found a cool mod that you use on the beach that we can incorporate into this one. But as soon as we get off of this video right here, I already have the invoice pulled up that Megan sent us for this. We're gonna click order, and maybe we'll see it in, I don't know, a couple weeks. Yours came in like 4 weeks. Yeah. And the only thing I wanted to say about Juice before I forget is the price of the color is $895. So I don't know if it's a limited edition color, but it's the same as Bikini. It's $895, which is almost expensive, almost as expensive as the trailer tow group on here. So kind of crazy when you think about it, but I think this is gonna be a fun build. We're excited to bring it to the channel. And yeah, let's talk about it in the comments down below about everything we've discussed today. Are these discounts that you're seeing enough to make you go out and purchase? Or are you gonna wait and hold off and see what happens? Or are you gonna wait and see if maybe that Gladiator comes with a Hemi, because we're gonna really kick ourselves if they launch that as soon as we get our 4-door Juice Gladiator in. But let us know down below in the comments. We're gonna continue this conversation as always. And yeah, we're getting ready for Jeep Beach. So if you haven't entered into that contest, go on our website, you can see how to enter that, but we're gonna pick some winners soon. And you guys will get a really cool VIP experience at Jeep Beach. So see the official contest rules and everything. We'll drop that down below as well. But until next time, Ryan's behind the camera. I'm here talking to you. And we want you to get out there and earn yours.